Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am working on a not really a new layout for Simple Stories Saturday. Now, I say it's not new because I did create this layout in the fall, this past fall, and I just haven't posted the video or any of the photos yet. And I'm glad that I kind of had this in in my back pocket to show because I didn't have a chance this month to do a layout for Simple Stories. So here we are. I'm showing you the one that's just kind of been sitting there in the void, I guess. Now I'm using the cider and donuts collection that was new in the fall of 2024. And this is one of my favorite layouts ever. So I'm not sure why I didn't show it to you guys. But this is a photo of my sweet Charlie, and I just wanted to document how grateful I am to have him in my life because he's my buddy. Okay, so the green scalloped piece is something that I cut out using a die from Hip Kit Club. I don't know if you guys can tell on the video, but it's fringed. I don't think I actually ruffle up or scuff up the fringe any. I think I just kind of leave it in that flat state that it's in. The other scallop came off of the sticker sheet, and I wanted the two to work together as almost like a valance or a curtain, I suppose, that and then the photo sort of like the window behind it. Charlie loves to sit either on the top of the back of our couch and look out the window, or he likes to look out the glass back door and watch the squirrels outside. So I thought this little squirrel was really cute here. That just works perfectly. And I want to I think at this point, I decide that I want to create a little bit of a diagonal line that goes from the top left to the bottom right of the page. I initially thought that I wanted it to look more like a cross, but I thought that the putting it on a diagonal just visually worked better for kind of what I had going on. And I also wanted I thought that I might end up doing some mixed media behind all of this. So I was trying to glue it all together so I could move it around as one piece. That also ensures that I can make sure that everything is centered the way that I want it on the page. But I decided not to do the mixed media on the background, and I do eventually go ahead and get this big large piece glued down before I start adding a bunch of small pieces. As I'm looking at this, I realize that I enjoy this design so much that I might want to actually repeat this design just turned up on its side, so that long piece that's stretching from the left to the right actually goes from the top to the bottom, and the embellishments are still on a diagonal. I don't think I've done that design before, so I may try that with um, maybe a more spring or summer layout. Okay, here I am getting it glued down, and somehow miraculously, I end up getting the photo straight when I glued it to the scallops. I don't know how I managed that. I got lucky, but so everything is straight and centered and where I want it. And I'm bringing in these rub-ons, which I adore. I love rub-ons. I don't use them as much as I like them. I don't know why. I don't always know what to do with them, but I love the concept of them and that little bit of extra, just something extra that it adds to the pages. I think it's so precious. So I thought at first that I wanted these stitched pieces to look like they've gone behind the photo and they're coming out on the other side, on the left side. But it didn't work out that way. I cut the piece too short, and so it just kind of didn't work around that little twig there to the left of the pumpkin. And so I decided to just tack it back onto this other end here and make it work. I just made it look a little bit longer. Now that's one of the beauties of rub-ons. You can't even tell that I had spliced it to begin with. It just matches up and it's down on the page and it looks like it was one whole piece the whole time. Now I'm just reaching for all of the extra little bits to help fill out the clusters and some of the empty spaces on the side. I've always thought that Simple Stories has some of the best little filler bits. That's just these little sprinkles of other items to help fill out the rest of the page. Now I'm reaching for the foam stickers for more filler bits and tiny pieces to sprinkle around. And they also add some extra texture to the page. I think it's fun to add puffy stickers and foam stickers and things that have dimension and texture on top of your flat clusters because sometimes the patterns or the colors can get lost amongst each other, just kind of in the crowd, I guess. But when it's a different texture, then it helps draw your eye to those little embellishments also. It helps them stand out and have a presence all of their own instead of getting just lost in the mix. And finally, the last thing I'm going to do is draw my lines around the edge, but I do have an oopsie right there. I end up going off of the page. My hand slipped and I was so frustrated with myself. I didn't know how I wanted to fix it, so I decided to just lean into it a little bit and just color the edges of my page. And it adds a different border that's more substantial, and I'm not mad at it. So it was a little bit of a happy accident, I guess. I've not done it. I can't recall doing it on another layout, but I may in the future. Okay, so that wraps up another Simple Stories Saturday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out the extremely talented ladies that are also participating in this hop. I have a link in the description box below. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a lovely, crafty day. Bye-bye.